Test, test, 1, 2, 1, 2, test, test.
All right. We'll go ahead and get started. I now call the June 4th, 2024 regular meeting of the City Council to order. This evening, our invocation is given by Pastor B.J. Donahue from the Erlanger Baptist Church. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. If you can hit the little button. Oops. There you go. Awesome.
The one with the green dot.
Okay, good. Good to know. It used to be orange. It's now green.
I want to read a quick passage from the book of Philippians. It says this: "Therefore, if there is any encouragement in Christ, if there is any consolation of love, if there is any fellowship of the Spirit, if any affection and compassion," Paul writes, "make my joy complete by being of the same mind, maintaining the same love, united in spirit, intent on one purpose. Do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind, regard one another as more important than yourselves. Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interests of others. Have this attitude in yourself, which was also in Christ Jesus, who, although he existed in the form of God, did not regard equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself, taking the form of a servant, and being made in the likeness of men, being found in the appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross." I love that passage because it reminds us that as people, we are challenged to see what is the goal of all of this, right? And Paul writes, if you're going to do this, my prayer is that you do it as a unified body. And you guys know this well. You have been elected to this position and you serve this community. I was driving up Turkey Foot and I see the Erlanger sign and I see, Mayor, I see your name underneath of it, reminding that there's an obligation and a responsibility that this committee has, that this council has, to love this community well. And you don't represent just one person. This is not an individual council. This is the city council. And so there is a challenge that as you do all of this, you do it called to represent one city. And there are communities around the city that look at this city and see what it's doing and see how it's doing it. And you have a community of people that look to you all to lead well, and not to look out for your own interests or just the voters that you need to get so you can stay here the next time. Like, there's a reality in which you exist for the longevity of this city and the benefit of the generations that will follow. And so as I think about that, I want to pray that just over you again, because there are tough decisions that you guys have to make that will direct not just during your tenure how things go, but for decades how things will go. Because you will set into course things that have influence far beyond your time in service. And so let me pray for you as you do that. Father, I thank you for the example of Jesus Christ, who, though equal with the Father, emptied himself and became a servant. Though he could have demanded all things, he became like us and served so that we might see a better future. Lord, I pray that over this council as well. Lord, that though they have a position of power and leadership and they make decisions, yet the call is to serve. They are community servants. And I pray that you would give them one mind. Lord, that they would be able to set aside preference, that they would look to the benefit of the whole, and that they would be a blessing to this community each and every time they gather, every time they have discussion. Father, that they would recognize the weight of responsibility, that they would take it seriously, and that they would consider that they have been placed here for a reason, for such a time as this, to share in the responsibilities of setting the course for the future ahead. May you give them wisdom to do that well, even tonight as they meet. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, BJ. Okay, please rise for the pledge. Okay. Mrs. Hoffman, if you can please take roll.
Ms. Nicely,
Present.
Mr. Cahill,
Present.
Ms. Kyle,
Here.
Mr. Skidmore, Mr. Hermes,
Here.
Ms. Skidmore, Ms. Reckers,
Here.
Ms. Jasper Lucas,
Here.
Ms. Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. Before we get started, I do want to just ask for one other additional prayer. Councilman Skidmore had surgery yesterday. Let's just make sure that we hold him in our prayers. And Ms. Skidmore, if you need anything, please let us know, okay? I'm really glad to see you, so thanks for being here. Oh, yeah. I love your honesty and understand it. Okay. Did he get to come home today? No. Not yet? Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll make sure we continue to pray for him. All right. So you guys have received a copy of the minutes for the May 7th, 2024 regular council meeting and the May 15th special council meeting, our budget retreat. Are there any additions or corrections to be made at this time? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion that we adopt as presented. Ms. Schreckers, Ms. Kyle, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried. You guys have also received a copy of tonight's agenda. Are there any additions to be made at this time? Okay. Oh, Ms. Reckers?
No, I'm motioning.
Okay. We have a motion from Ms. Reckers and Ms. Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, our special presentations this evening will begin with our business spotlight. We have Fabled Brew Works here, and we have John and Kent, and I'm going to just give you a little update. You guys can come up, so as you're walking up to the podium. So we're thrilled to introduce two of the visionary founders of Fabled Brew Works who are with us today, Kent Wessels and John Loyler. Fabled Brew Works, located at 331 Kenton Lands, just celebrated its first anniversary last week, May 27th through June 2nd here in Erlanger, and has quickly become a beloved fixture in our community. Fabled Brew Works began as a group of friends with a passion for beer, mead, and the extraordinary. They believe that drinking a beer is more than simply consuming a beverage. It's an opportunity to share moments with family, exchange tales with friends, and celebrate accomplishments. This love for unique beers and the stories they create is what ignited their passion and led them to open their own brewery. Their recent feature on WLWT Channel 5, which we proudly shared on our city Facebook page, perfectly captured the essence of their unique establishment. The article titled, This Craft Brewery in Northern Kentucky Looks Like It's Straight Out of a Fairy Tale, couldn't be more accurate. Kent and John, we love having you in the city of Erlanger, and we are deeply appreciating your investment in our community. And thank you so much for being here with us this evening. The mic is yours, and there's a green button to press.
Excellent. Well, thanks for having us. That intro pretty much covered everything I had to say. So I don't know what's left. I recognize some of you from the brewery, but not as many as I would like. So we're now open 7 days a week. That's a new thing as of this week. We previously were closed Mondays. We just started being open Mondays 4 to 9, but we're open at least 5 hours every day now. If you haven't stopped by, number one, please do. But also, like was mentioned, we strive to make it different than every other place best we could. So our interior is fantasy themed. We built the majority of it ourselves. Learned to do a lot of it as we went, which was a good experience. But besides the atmosphere, we shoot for styles of beer, and we also make mead. If no one's familiar with mead, anybody? Think of it as honey wine, easiest way to explain it to people. So using honey for fermentation instead of grapes. There aren't very many meaderies, generally speaking, and not that many in this region. So we try to kind of capture that niche. And the beer we make, if you've seen, kind of runs the gamut from traditionals the whole way through specializations like they're called sours, which is kind of a misnomer, but they have ice cream in them, so just come get those if you like sweet stuff. It's pretty tasty. Stouts, just all over the map, best we can. We just did our first barrel-aged stout, which sat in, forget which bourbon, a bourbon barrel for a year, and we'll have that program. I think we're up to about 40 barrels right now aging back there, so we'll continue to roll those out. We do releases roughly once a month. We try to. Sometimes we skip one if we've got something big coming afterward. And I don't know what else to add necessarily.
How did the anniversary celebration go?
Really well.
Yeah.
We tried to do something, so we opened for Memorial Day, which we've started kind of opening holidays, at least for a few hours each time, which has gone well generally. And had a good turnout on Monday, and then pretty much every day throughout, we tried to do something specific. So we did a cellar sale of all the bottles we've done over the previous year. Anything we had left, we started selling on Tuesday. We had guest taps from around the country on Wednesday, some of the best breweries around we've somehow made friends with. So they sent us some stuff we were able to provide. And then a big bottle release on Saturday, and we had people, we were probably mostly full, I'd say, the entire week. So about as successful as you could have hoped for, I'd say.
Sweet. That's great. Wonderful to hear. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I really appreciate it. I think it's amazing. You guys keep improving and investing in your space, and you can see it just even from the roadway. Now it has the archway over top, the covered patio. I mean, it's really cool. So great job.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions for John or Kent? All right. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Next special presentation is our oath of office.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and guest. Tonight we're going to do a swearing in. You may recognize this individual. He was up here when we talked about our internship, so this is one of our interns that is now going to be a part of our team. Ben Goascott.
All right. There you go. You got it. You got it. Okay, so I'll say I and you say your name, okay? I do solemnly swear to do my duty as a firefighter EMT for the city of Erlanger to the best of my ability, to serve my commanding officers with respect and dignity, to serve the citizens of the city of Erlanger with compassion, courage, and integrity, and to uphold the laws and the constitutions of the United States of America, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the city of Erlanger. So help me God. I do. Help me God. Very good. Congratulations. We lost everybody now. All right, our next special presentation is the Municipal Road Aid Funding. We're going to have a little bit of discussion from our Director of Public Works, Kevin Quinn.
Thank you, Mayor. So Municipal Aid Road Fund, or MARF as the Public Works Department refers to, is money the state gives back to cities for reconstruction or construction of streets within your city. And this year in 2024-2025, we'll be receiving $428,165 to go towards the streets listed on the form in front of you. Other than that, that's the gist of it. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
No. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. All right, there's just one other thing that I was going to add to the special presentations that are not listed. I'd like to do a Juneteenth proclamation. So, to all to whom these presents shall come, whereas on June 19th, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger announced in Galveston, Texas, the end of the Civil War and slavery. Celebration of this freedom was named Juneteenth. Community events such as parades, cookouts, prayer gatherings, and historical cultural readings were held. As families immigrated from Texas to Kentucky and other parts of the United States, traditions and Juneteenth celebrations carried throughout. Today, we educate and promote self-development while adding our own traditions. Kentucky approved the annual observance of Juneteenth National Freedom Day on March 11, 2005, encouraging all Kentuckians to recognize the significant role that African Americans have played in our history. The City of Erlanger joins other cities in the Commonwealth and invites all residents to honor and celebrate Juneteenth National Freedom Day. Now, therefore, I, Jessica Fetty, Mayor of the City of Erlanger, Kenton County, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2024 to be Juneteenth National Freedom Day in Erlanger and do commend this observance to all of our citizens, given under my hand and the seal of the City of Erlanger on this day of June 4th, 2024. All right. Now, Ms. Wilson, did you want to talk a little bit about the email that you sent out today? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to catch you off guard. I know you had, there's a couple of things going on throughout the weekend, starting on the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th, I believe, if I'm remembering your email correctly. And if you could hit your microphone, please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's going to start June the 15th. And it's going to be held, the 14th, and there's going to be a Juneteenth career fair at the Kentucky Career Center, 1324 Madison Avenue, Covington, Kentucky. And then the times are 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Saturday, June the 15th, at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Covington Landing. There will be a Black Excellence Awards, Juneteenth bingo, fashion show, children activities, live entertainment, and spoken word. On Sunday, June the 16th, there's going to be at First Baptist Church in Ellesmere, we're going to have community worship service, community cookout, children activities, bounce house, live entertainment. There's also going to be a parade on the 15th going to Randolph Park in Covington, and that's going to start at 11 a.m. And then on Sunday, June the 16th at 10, with the lineup starting at 9, at Dixie and Garvey at the U.S. Bank, there will be a parade going down Garvey to First Baptist. And you all are invited, not just to observe the parade, but to be in the parade. We will be very honored to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I appreciate you speaking. I didn't tell you ahead of time. Sorry. So comments of those other than council members, we don't have anybody on the public comment sign-up sheet. So we'll go ahead and continue to the mayor's report. I just wanted to very quickly express my gratitude and appreciation for our ad hoc budget meeting last Wednesday. I truly enjoyed that meeting. I found it to be very productive, and we had great conversation, and I was just, I don't know, I was just very joyful afterwards. So I really appreciated everybody's participation. I love that kind of stuff. So thank you all for participating in such an important budget. I think we all should be very proud. So thank you. All right, we have our city administrator's report. Mr. Glenn.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, tonight under our legislation portion, number 8 is our Title VI resolution. Just want to kind of give a real brief background on what that is and what that means. So for those of us who didn't know what Title VI is, and especially those at home, just real quick, Title VI is part of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It prohibits any state agency that's receiving federal funds from denying access to programs on the basis of race, color, or national origin. So, and obviously we're a city who gets a lot of federal and state funds. Kevin was just talking about the MARF funding tonight, actually. So this would definitely affect that type of stuff. So what they're asking us to do now is to adopt by resolution a plan that where we've never had to have a plan submitted and administered previous to now, from 1964 to now. So this is a new requirement that we were made aware of second week in May, I think, Sherry. And so it's kind of came at us quick, and that's why we're trying to get it tidied up tonight by resolution. We have to have this done and completed by the end of this month, so June 30th is our deadline. So apologize for this not coming before you at a caucus meeting and everything, but it's kind of a housekeeping issue. The changes or the requirements that's new. I mean, we've been operating under existing requirements since 1964 and been compliant in doing so. But the new changes are simply we have to have a plan, and most cities are that we've contacted are utilizing the Northern Kentucky Area Development District Plan, and they have, and it was included in your packet, 68-page plan, basically outlining everything that needs to be done to be compliant. The only things that are new to us are, one, we have to have staff training annually, so that'll be something that we have to implement through our HR department, and Kara's already on that and got our training scheduled. And then we have to have an organizational chart submitted, and we'll work with the Northern Kentucky Ed District on developing that and having that completed. And then they have to have, and they will administer our annual compliance report. So that is something that they have stepped up, and they're helping all the communities as well. And like I said, Sherry reached out to actually many communities, and everybody's solution is the same as using this plan that's before you and that was developed through the Ed District. So basically what we'll do on the legislation side of it is ask for approval of that resolution. Any questions? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Glenn. Mr. Gatlin, City Attorney's report.
We have quite a few items on for legislation, first readings of the wage scale budget and codifications. That codification is housekeeping, and then various appointments. Also, we will be doing the resolution of medical cannabis tonight. I'm sure some of you have heard the county is going to do a first reading to ban it, is what I'm understanding, next week. So we'll probably discuss that at the next caucus meeting, what our options are as a city. We can overturn that ban, but we're going to have to take affirmative steps to do that. So just kind of keep your ear to the ground on that, and we can discuss that at the meeting in 2 weeks. Yes?
Are you suggesting we table this?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Nope. Because all we're doing is sending an application. The application is going to be due by Thursday to meet. No. I'm just saying that I think there's going to be additional legislation that we're going to have to discuss. That's all I'm saying. But not tonight.
All right. Mr. Quinn, report on capital projects.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Works Facility is still ongoing, of course. A lot of concrete work is going to be coming up there, getting everything paved. The wash bay and the maintenance facility, the concrete's going to be poured in there. The roof's going on the administration building currently this week. I was told today completion the beginning of September. He didn't give me an exact date, but he said beginning of September. So we should be wrapping that up here in the next few months. Street projects, Pleasure Isle Drive, the pier wall is, all the piering should be completed by the end of next week. And then the only thing they'll have left to do will be adding the guardrail down there. Kingsburg Court has got one pour left. And so does Lambda, and that is Humphreys Construction working on that. Short Hill Clover and Alice, Wriggler's got a few more full depths, and then they'll be starting all the paving of all those streets. And then the big one, of course, you've seen our message boards up last week with the railroad. They are going to start this coming Thursday. They'll be working at night from 10 to 6. The road will be closed from Stevenson to Hallam from those hours. So they're putting up 5 message boards to notify everybody. Those should be going up here Thursday. And have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other department heads with reports? All right. Any reports from task force representatives this evening? Ms. Reckers?
I have the recommendation to read from the Ad Hoc Budget Committee. Not sure if it was joyful. We had a good conversation, though. All right. The Ad Hoc Budget Committee meeting was held at 5:29 at 5:30. The meeting attendees were Rebecca Reckers, Jennifer Jasper Lucas, Diana Nicely, Renee Skidmore, Don Skidmore, Renee Wilson, Vicki Kyle, Tom Cahill, and Mayor Fetty. Discussion occurred around annual raises for all city employees, the city night out event spending, the costs associated with marketing and the proposed marketing contractor, the proposed museum employee expense, and the scope of work for the additional employee. Questions were raised regarding the absence of the expense for a proposed firehouse in drawings, spending concerns with the Erlanger Road Park, and concerns regarding the size of the park spending request for this budget cycle. The committee recommends the following changes be made to the current iteration of the 2024-2025 budget. Average raises for city employees adjusted to 5%, from 5% to 5.5%. The marketing contractor being reduced by $30,000 from $72,000 to $42,000. And park spending appropriation being reduced by $535,000 from $2,100,000 to $1,565,000. Members of the Ad Hoc Budget Committee continue to express concerns regarding the park's spending long-term, as well as as the budget requests have exceeded the dedicated park fund appropriation year after year consecutively. The 2024-2025 Ad Hoc Budget Committee appreciates the partnership provided by the administration during this budget process and thanks the department heads and the mayor for their hard work and effort on this budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any other task force? Mr. Hermes?
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier today at 5 o'clock, we had a Parks Task Force meeting, and we reviewed some of the existing projects, namely the concrete work that's happening at Silver Lake Park right now. This Thursday, there's going to be a bid for Phase 4 of the work at Silver Lake Park. And next week, demo is going to begin on the Sherborne Park. And we've got the playground equipment in our possession for the Sherborne Park and the water fountain that's going to go in there. We also discussed Cahill Commons. That project is starting to wrap up now. It should be finished by the middle of July. And we're starting to talk about dates for a ribbon cutting, but nothing's been established just yet. We also discussed the 2024-2025 Capital Park budget request and some of the capital projects in the scope of work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other task forces? Okay. All right. Ms. Hoffman, there are no bids this evening, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody have any unfinished business? Ms. Kyle?
I just want to thank our Erlanger Police Department for their uptake of enforcement on Sherborne. We had some concerns about four-way stop, and it seems like they're right on the job. Plus, they caught a few speeders going down, so it's like double whammy over there. But thank you so much. We really appreciate that for answering and responding so fast. I mean, you know, really great. Thank you. Our citizens appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, you reminded me, we've had the Memorial Day Parade since we met last, and I just wanted to thank everybody for their participation. Kevin putting the incredible float together, and Peter had a hand in that. So, I mean, everybody's participation was greatly appreciated, and I think we had a great turnout. Perfect weather. It was just really, really beautiful day. You're right. All right. Any new business? Okay. All right. Legislation.
This is an ordinance. This is an ordinance of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, establishing a personnel pay and classification plan for all Erlanger employees and non-elected city officers. Attached is the document which shows strike-throughs are what the old number was, and they have been increased pursuant to Municipal Order 5-7-19-04, which is the COLA factor for each of these numbers. Is a first reading.
All right. Ms. Hoffman, if you can please note in the minutes the first reading of this ordinance.
All right, next we have an ordinance of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, adopting a budget for the City of Erlanger for the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2024, and providing that no money shall be expended by or on behalf of the City of Erlanger except in accordance with that adopted budget. Attached is the budget in summary, and this budget summary page that is attached to this first reading does incorporate the modifications and suggestions of the Budget Ad Hoc Committee. As you can see, it summarizes the general fund and all of the rest of the funds and shows the fund ending balance.
All right, Ms. Hoffman, if you can please note in the minutes the first reading of this ordinance, please.
Next, we have an ordinance of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, approving and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances of the city. This, again, is a housekeeping matter. This supplements ordinances that are now going to be current through ordinance number 2567. For the public that's listening, this is our yearly update that puts all of the ordinances that we passed this year onto the American Legal website, which is kind of the standard codification website for cities across the country so that it's a searchable form online.
All right. Please note in the minutes the first reading of this ordinance. Mrs. Hoffman.
All right, next we have a municipal order of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, approving the appointment of Terry Barrow, I hope I just said that right, as a member of the Board of Adjustments for the City of Erlanger to fill the vacancy therein resulting from the resignation of George Bettis. This will remain, this will be a term that will run through the first Monday in January 2025.
All right. Do I entertain a motion that we adopt this municipal order as read? Ms. Reckers? Ms. Nicely, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we have a municipal order of the City Council of the City of Erlanger in Kenton County, Kentucky, approving the appointment of Todd Herman as a member of the Kenton County Planning Commission to fill the vacancy therein resulting from the resignation of Dan McElhenney. And this also, this will run through December 31st of 2024, which is the unexpired term of Mr. McElhenney.
All right. Do I entertain a motion that we adopt this municipal order as read? Mr. Hermes, Ms. Jasper Lucas, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion carried.
Next is a resolution of the City of Erlanger, Kenton County, Kentucky, sponsoring a proposed text amendment. This is authorizing the city's economic development director or a member of the staff here as an agent of the city's legislative body to make application pursuant to KRS 200.211 to PDS, which ultimately will be an application to the Kenton County Planning Commission, and it adds, as you can see in the table of contents, medical cannabis, section 405.L, and then it is proposing adding it as a permitted use for cultivation, processing, production, dispensary, and safety compliance in all of the employment zones or the old industrial zones, and that dispensaries would be in all of the commercial zones. Again, this is just sending it to a public hearing. So the public hearing PDS is anticipating is going to be September, October. With what's going on with the county, that timeline might change a little bit, but this is just getting it kind of in the chute for there to be a public hearing. PDS kind of wants a county-wide approach to the cities that are going to be allowing this, and this most likely will be coming back to this council for a first and second reading in the fall sometime, probably October, November, December, something in that time period. So this is just sort of beginning that process and sending it on its way.
All right. Do I entertain a motion that we adopt this resolution as read? Ms. Kyle, Ms. Wilson, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion carried.
All right, next we have a resolution of the City of Erlanger adopting and approving the execution of a municipal aid co-op program contract between the City of Erlanger and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Rural and Municipal Aid for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024, as provided in the Kentucky Revised Statutes, and accepting all streets referred to therein as being streets which are a part of the City of Erlanger. And you can see attached is the Municipal Road Aid Cooperative Program Agreement, where this year the City of Erlanger will be receiving $428,165.31.
All right. Do I entertain a motion that we adopt this resolution as read? Ms. Reckers, Ms. Kyle, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next is a resolution of the City of Erlanger, Kenton County, Kentucky, approving and adopting the Northern Kentucky Area Development District Title VI Program Plan. As Mr. Glenn articulated, this is being required for all cities to update and to approve a plan. The model plan from NKADD, I think, is what most cities are doing. And this is being requested for continuation of different grants, state and federal dollars.
All right. Do I entertain a motion that we adopt this resolution as read? Ms. Wilson, Ms. Kyle, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Are there any announcements this evening? Ms. Reckers, oh, I'm sorry. You have a motion that we adjourn? Are you ready? It's nicely.
I just wanted to remind everybody of this Thursday, the Touch a Truck
Okay.
at Lloyd from 6 to 8, I believe, right? So I know you've been advertising it, but
Yeah.
for the people that are listening.
Cool. All right. Ms. Ruckers made a motion to adjourn. Ms. Kyle, you second that motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Have a good evening.